Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new Let's Play called Torment Tides of Numenera. This is a game brought to you by Incel. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It's INXILE Entertainment. This is a sequel to the original game Planescape Torment. For those of you who may not have played that one, I would definitely suggest going back and giving it a try. Not because you need to know what's going on in that one for you to understand what's going on in this one per se, but because it's a great game that is worthy to this day of still going back and playing it. It is, an older game, but it is a fantastic one to play. This is still in early access, guys. You can get it on Steam for $44.99 right now. Of course, there's going to be sales as time goes on and things of that sort, if that's a little bit too high for you. But I definitely would suggest getting this game because I have been looking forward to this one for a very long time now, and I cannot wait to get in there and start playing it. Now, I was, able to get this game, and we're going to go ahead and give it a shot because, like I said, I've been looking forward to this one. So let's go ahead and hit the start button. Now, I have not played this at all. This is going to be a complete and total blind playthrough. There's going to be some things that are broken, obviously, because it's still in early access. Little, mistakes here and there, but they're going to fix all of that. And we're just going to get to, get a little sneak peek behind the scenes of what it looks like up to date right now. And I'm version 0.1.1. Oh yeah, come on, here it is. If an enemy is armored, change up the damage type of your attacks with abilities or ciphers to overcome it. Okay, that's a nice little piece of information right there. I don't know exactly what that means yet because we haven't really gotten into the game to understand any of these little tips yet. But it's nice to go ahead and read them anyways because you just never know. Sometimes they give you some really, really good information that would otherwise take you a little while to kind of figure out on your own. So I do definitely like it when they give you that kind of stuff. I do like the sense of humor that they will occasionally throw in there as well on video games where, oh, okay, here we go. There are some things you should know about Torment character system. When your game starts, you'll be presented with a conversation window, and once finished, your character creation process has begun. In the first room, Fathom 13, you'll interact with 3 orbs and experience a memory in each. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. If you don't want to be exposed to any mild spoilers, stop reading here. Okay, so if you guys don't want to, get any spoilers right here, go ahead and skip ahead. I'll see if I can mark the video so that you guys can just skip to that and not see that. But for those of you who don't mind, again, because we are doing a game that's still in development, you're gonna get some spoilers here and there. You're gonna see some things. So hopefully you guys will be okay with me reading this. When you interact with an orb, you'll decide how to unlock it. Each option uses a different stat pool: might, speed, intellect. Choosing the might option will increase your might pool. Choosing the speed option will increase your speed pool, etc. This is the first section which begins to layer your in subtle character development. Okay, so I don't know which one we're going to go with on that one, might, speed, or intellect. I kind of like intellect a little bit better because that played a pretty big role in the first one, but I don't know, it really depends on which class you kind of want to make your character. Once you've unlocked each orb, you'll experience a memory. During the memory, you'll make a couple of choices. The game is keeping track of the way you handle situations: brute force, manipulation, stealth, etc. When you've completed all the orbs, you'll come up with a mirror that will show you all the possible versions of yourself based upon the choices you made. Each one represents a descript that are 17 different descriptors in Torment, which each one providing a package of skills. Good lord, guys, I apologize for that. The descriptors range from mystical, strong, swift, charming, cautious, and more. When you choose one of the figures in the mirror, the descriptor that is present will be assigned to you. In the next scene, Fathom 1, you'll complete a crisis turn-based encounter and a mirror choose your own adventure style dialogue. After that, you'll be told to leave the scene via a swirling vortex. When you interact with the vortex, you'll choose your class. You'll also have a chance to examine your character sheet and reevaluate any of the choices you've made so far. The 3 classes are the Glaive, combat-focused warrior, practice in athletics and physical skill; Nano, the wizard-style caster who uses the mysterious artifacts of the Ninth World to create a magical estuary effect; and Jack, a combination of magical and martial with a bit of thief built in. Additional customizations will also be available based on your class. Next, you'll find yourself in the real world, and you'll have an object that sends you to the city of Sagas Cliffs to fix. something. When you do, you'll be drawn back into your mental labyrinth to choose your focus. Note that this labyrinth sequence is not implemented in the beta build, so for now you'll just choose your focus in dialogue. The focus gives the character a unique twist and ranges from rides the lightning to breathes shadow. In summary, characters in Numenera are defined by three things. These are not easy names to pronounce sometimes. Okay, a class, a focus. For example, I am a mystical nano who banishes a silver tongue. Mystical is the nano. Yeah, we're just going to keep going into this because this is basically going to tell us what we're going to be doing. This is going to be the game itself, and every choice that we make apparently is going to be impacting the game as we go along through it. So let's go ahead and go into it. I am going to choose male because that's what I am, and I like playing the same class that I am, but you're welcome to choose whatever you want.
Your mind wakes in darkness. Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you.
Okay.
Your first emotion is an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important. As if it once meant the world to you, but the details slip away as you grasp at them. You force your eyes open.
Look at this body or look around. I'm going to say look around because, you don't really need to look at your own body.
A pink, fleshy cocoon surrounds you. Even as you look, a minor rent in its side tears open, and the howling wind forces its way inside.
Sounds painful.
The cocoon rips away, gone before you can grab it, spinning you into a dizzying tumble. You are falling, the world many kilometers beneath you. You catch a glimpse of a curved horizon, and also the ground beneath you that is approaching deceptively quickly. Above you, a small moon is slowly collapsing in upon itself. A corona of acid green and black energy playing around its edges. The wind buffets you and burns your eyes, but you don't need to see the details of the faraway ground to know you're in serious trouble. You won't survive a fall from this stratospheric height. A part of your frantic mind babbles that technically you probably fell from a thermospheric height. You struggle to stay focused as the ground rushes toward you.
Okay, so look at the horizon, flatten out to catch the wind, try to judge how far it is to the ground, or dive towards the ground. I'm going to say flatten out to try to catch the wind.
Instinctively, you spread your arms and legs, and they respond sluggishly. You stop tumbling head over heels. Though you are still spinning laterally, that motion has calmed as well, and you have space to assess your situation, and perhaps to understand the predicament and the body in which you find yourself. Below you, you see a large landmass. A massive ocean dominates the rest of the visible globe, dotted here and there with island chains. Small moons, unusual structures, and strange machines rush past you in glittering profusion as you plummet toward the ground.
Okay, so study the world, look at the body, or look at this body, and try to remember what happened. I'm gonna go with study the world. That might tell us where we should land.
Now you see that this appears to be a huge megacontinent, the only land of any size, on this side of the world at least. Great inland seas and lakes dot the land, and curiously, regular mountain ranges march up and down and across. You are falling toward what looks to be a great bay, a sprawling city perched on its shore just to the north. Further to the north and east, you see a broad plain scattered with curious structures, visible even from this height. The northeastern portion of this land looks to be a desert, a strange blue dot like an eye in its exact center. It seems to hold a city in its watery grasp. To its west is a ring of huge mountains surmounted by enormous carved peaks spewing magma into a central catch basin. What concerns you most right now is the bay below you. It's coming at you quickly.
Let's see, try to slow the descent even more.
You've reached a velocity that could, without irony, best be named terminal. You spread your arms and legs and try to catch a draft, and it looks like you'll hit the bay that's rushing toward you, unless you hit the building in its littered waters. A strange web of colors surrounds you, thrown by a figure standing on the balcony of the structure, but it is effective only at slowing your fall. You strike the building hard enough to crack its crystalline structure, and you hear one of the engines that supports it protest and howl, and the agony of the crash overcomes you, and then darkness.
Oh yeah, look at that, guys. You fell. You remember falling towards the curve of the world. The ground leapt up to claim you. Impact, you should be dead. If so, this is a strange death. There is no peace here, and your mind aches, struggling to form simple thoughts. This doesn't seem like death, nor like any kind of life you recognize. And if you remember the last game, Planescape, you kind of start the same way. You start with no memory. You start as a semi-dead kind of guy. So I do like how they're parallel the exact same story in that sense, because I greatly like that game. But let's take a look around. Let's see. What was our name? The Last Cast-Off. Okay. So there's a little bit of light over here. We can look at this object. Let's walk over here where the light is actually falling. We can't step on it, though. I'm trying to actually step right where that light is going, and it just won't let us. So let's look at the pedestal. Will it let us? There we go. Jumbled thoughts cloud your head as you study the empty bowl before you. Drops of liquid fall from the ceiling, splattering on the ground next to the bowl. The light from every drop is reflected in the bowl's rounded hollow, as if it hungers for the light and needs to be filled, yet the bowl remains dry. Another drop falls from the ceiling and splashes across the pylons, wasted. Examine the bowl or leave the bowl, although I think we need to move the bowl over to where the drops are falling, but let's go ahead and examine the bowl first. You trace your fingers over the slippery, overlapping scales that spiral up from the bottom of the bowl. The sharp-toothed rim plucks at your skin. It's going to be tricky to move this bowl without slicing your fingers on the edge. You might have to put some effort into it. Reflected light streaks across the surface of the bowl as another droplet falls from the ceiling. So carefully move the bowl beneath the liquid. Uses might. Examine the bowl again. Let's examine the bowl again, because I want to use intelligence more than might. Let's see, does it say anything? No, it says the exact same thing as before. Let's leave the bowl alone. Let's walk around. Maybe we can find something to use. I don't think there's going to be anything to use. I think this one you're just going to have to use might. Unless I can capture the... Yeah, I think that's just going to be might. This is the only option we have on that one for now. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Using might, 9 out of 9. Impossible or routine? Let's see what that says. Using might, roll dice, 1d20 versus 9. Last cast off modifier. You have thoroughly investigated the bowl, -3 to difficulty. Total modifier is -3 to difficulty. So I guess if you didn't explore the bowl and examine it as much as possible, you wouldn't get that -3. So definitely worth it for you to do that. Brilliant liquid continues to drip from the ceiling, splattering on the ground next to the empty bowl. Let's see, examine the bowl again. Will it let us? No, it doesn't want to let us. Let's see, level of effort. 0. Each level of effort reduces the task difficulty. Each level, no. I mean, how far do we want to go on this? Do we get to pick? There we go. Success. You have carefully taken hold of the bowl, avoiding the teeth on the serrated rim. With a deep breath, you move it over the glowing pool of falling light. And this should light up the room for us, which I'm kind of looking forward to seeing, because look at that floor just like dancing on the ground right there. Oh yeah. Drop by drop, the bowl fills, ripples spreading over the blurred outline of your reflection. A pale blue luminescence stretches into the corners of the room. A clear radiance spills across these segmented floors, washing away the nearest shadow and pouring into your mind, melting the ragged edges of your fragmented thoughts. You are not whole, not yet, but you have begun to heal from the damage done in your long fall. A voice calls out somewhere high above, beyond the reaches of the spreading light.
Hello? Oh, Skist, you're dead, aren't you? No, that can't be right. If he were dead, I would be too. Can you hear me?
Okay, so your choices are: I can hear you, who are you, where are you, or say nothing. I like the say nothing one, actually. That would be interesting to see what they say when you do that one. But we're going to be playing this several times because this is still in early development, so we'll come back and try different choices at different times. If you guys want to hear any of the choices that I didn't pick this first time, make sure to leave that down in the comments, and I'll give those first priority. So, I can hear you, who are you, where are you? I'm going to say I can hear you.
I can't hear anything. Are you even there? Well, if you can hear me, it means you're still alive. But you'd already know that, wouldn't you? Look, I'm just going to assume we're both alive and want to stay that way, all right? So here's what you have to do. I can't get to you, so you need to build a way up to me. I don't know how you're going to do that. I mean, this is your mind. It's not like I have a map.
Oh, my mind. So maybe, yeah, I don't know what that exactly means, but it's kind of interesting.
This is your mind. I bet your memories are down there. Find them, and you'll repair the path up to where I am. Are you there?
Well,
I'm talking to myself here.
I could try responding to him, but we already know he can't hear me, so I'm guessing that's probably not the intelligent thing to do. Say nothing is probably the intelligent thing to do, but, yeah, let's go with bellow as loud as you can.
What was that? I can't tell what's real here. Look, build a path up. Then we can face this mess together, and you won't be alone. I won't be alone.
The voice fades until it passes into inaudibility. Blank, oppressive silence falls, split only by the soft hum of the new pylons rising from the depths. Okay, so I guess I'm controlling this with my mind? I mean, I don't... There it goes, right there, yep. Now let's check this one last time before we head off. Overturn the bowl, really? Wow, okay, let's try it. When you touch it, you feel a strange tightness in your head, and soon discover that the bowl is far too heavy to move now. Even the attempt makes your arms ache and temples throb. Yeah, we're gonna leave it alone because there's probably no way we can do it, and it really won't do anything for our game. Like we don't want to not see anything. So let's see, what is this? Oh, it's one of the first orbs they were talking about. The air thickens with each step you take towards this watery orb, and whispering voices flit across one of the countless aching gaps in your mind. This must be the one of the memories you were told to find. Two figures swim down through the orb, as though it was a fathomless ocean. One vanishes into the ebon depths before you can study it. The other, a male, seems to be struggling, or perhaps drowning. You realize that, like the swimmer, you cannot breathe. Tear the orb open to release the water within might rescue the swimmer before he drowns. I'm gonna go with rescue him. Okay, so we need to pick what we're gonna do on this one. I don't think we can do more than what it allows us. So we can either do moderate or we can do easy. Each level reduces the test difficulty. I don't know. We're gonna do moderate. Permanently gain 2 speed pool. Maximum speed pool is now 11. Success. You plunge your hand into the orb and catch the tiny swimmer. Surprisingly strong muscles flex against your palm, and the swimmer pulls you through the breach. As he does, you feel faster. Something about this place causes even your smallest choices to shape you, who you are. As you plunge in the water, a memory floods your mind. You stand in front of a rusted door. The air is humid and dark. You had a moment of respite from this waterlogged heck, a bubble of stale air, your resting point. You breathed water before, and you've lived decades beneath the water. But this body, an air breather, and the constant pressure has begun crushing you ever so subtly. Worse, your companion's mind seems to be wandering from the task at hand. He's a genius with machines, and you well know, but now he seems distracted. The device in his hand is covered in knobs, wires, and antennae. He believes it can get the two of you through the corroded door, but he's merely staring at it. Perhaps he's lost faith in his invention. But that is hardly your concern. The mission cannot be delayed. It must proceed. Okay, so deceive him by telling him that you've heard sounds of pursuit. Threaten him until he returns to the task at hand. This is taking too long. Cast a spell to fix the device yourself. I don't really like any of those choices. I guess the spell one would be best. So let's go with that. You mumble a few words, drawing power from the air around you until a solution appears in your mind. You snatch the device from his hands, rewire it, and shove it back at him. "Oh," he says, examining your work. "Sorry, I was trying to improve the thing." He waves the device at the door, and the stale air of your bubble freshens as the door swings open. A dark hallway lies beyond, a passage that links the watered, boarded cells and the aquatic viewing areas. What you seek lies there. Moments later, you're underwater again, and your hands are closing around a strange artifact that seems somehow familiar. It hovers above a pedestal, writhing and spinning as if alive. The electric current runs through your fingers as your hands cross the vertical plane of the pedestal, and an iridescent field coalesces so fast that the wave of pressure dazes you for a moment. The rising pulse of a sonar alarm ripples through the water. The guards won't be far behind. So you have the choices: run, you can come back for it, they won't be able to protect it forever, disable the sonar pulse, use a device to stop them, one of the ciphers in your belt. I don't know what the devices would, represent, whether that's intelligence or something else, or disabling the sonar would be for intelligence. I'm gonna say, yeah, let's go with the device, just because that's kind of a cool little thing, and I haven't tried that one before. You run urgent fingers over the devices fastened to your waist, a fog rising in your mind. A few can be used against the guards, but it will also turn your skin to synthestil, or the surrounding water to boiling wax. Hardly ideal. Finally, you find a small silver spear. Settling the spear in place, you kick desperately for the safety of a nearby alcove. The sphere whirls and unfolds into a spiraling vortex. The sphere at its center speaks a few polite words in an ancient language, then begins draining the surrounding water into itself with alarming speed. The approaching guards shout, then scream as they do. Two are sucked into the whirlpool and ripped into pieces. You allow yourself a fleeting smile, but are too aware that more alarms are going off in distance. The moment begins to fade, as if you were being drawn backwards through a tunnel, and you hear more pylons rising from the pit. Something is wrong. The events within the orb have settled into the gap in your mind, but the edges of it are rough, as though the memory itself is not truly yours. There's something else, a gust of sour air pulling at you, like a predator inhaling the scent of its prey, at the far end of the dark whispering field. Okay, so you just went through some kind of memory. It sounds like a very, very interesting one. Maybe we might get to see more of that later on. I don't know. But there's another orb up here. Maybe can we get over here? The mirror looks strange, as though what you see in it is real and you're the reflection. Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. So can't do anything else there. I can't get over there either. Let's look at this stuff before we go over there. Countless scratches and wounds mar the surface of this door. Someone made a great effort to get inside, to no avail. Let's look at this door. No signs or symbols tell you what might be behind this enormous door. A dull chill radiates from its bronzed, segmented surface, and the thick metal wheels seem frozen in place. Okay, let's get a little closer and we'll look at this one. The light around the door frame dims and flares like a roaring fire in a high wind. I don't really like any of those choices. Those are pretty nasty. Let's see, what does this orb want us to do? This orb, this memory, resembles an eye or masked face. It turns to face you with cold disdain. Mechanisms spin and mesh beneath the gleaming surface, and a ominous ticking begins, getting faster and faster. Two cold facts emerge from the middle gap this memory once occupied. The ticking does indeed mean that the device will soon explode, and you have no one to blame but yourself. This trap is yours, built to protect the memory within. Work swiftly to disable the trap before it explodes. Speed, or try to remember how to open the device. Perhaps this will disarm the trap as well. So I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with the highest we can possibly go with is moderate. Permanently gain 2 intellect points. Maximum intellect pool is now 11. It does sound like the bomb is about to explode. We failed. The ticking increases in tempo, faster and faster, rising into a deafening clatter pounding against your skull. The connection in your mind grow and strengthen to compensate, but not fast enough. You clap your hands over your ringing ears just before the memory trap inside the orb explodes through your mind. You took 1 damage to might pool. Okay, so we lost 1 strength, I guess, and we gained 2 intellect. So maybe we should have gone with easy on that one and just got the 1 extra, intellect at that, and not have failed and taken that damage. So maybe for the next time we'll know that one. You stand beside a woman on a verdant crag. Beneath the two of you is a broad declivity, a flat bottoming bowl riven by a wide chasm. Moss-covered arches provide natural ingresses and egresses for the light, and a broad golden disc gleams up from the floor of the valley. You're self-aware. Humanoid machines drill into the base of the cliffs below. If you were looking for a sanctuary, and you were desperately, this seems like the right place. I don't know about this, the woman says in her flat voice. Neutral. Her face is turned away from you. What makes this place any more secure than that of the other ones we found? So you have the choices. Draw her attention to the hidden details that your more experienced eye can clearly see. Use your charms to persuade her of the merits of the site and to remind her of the time constraints. Convince her with the wisdom of your superior intellect. So I don't know on that one because I like the intellect, but I also like using charm because charm would be a nice thing to have in this game. So I guess we're going to go with wisdom because that's the route we're kind of going down. A slight chill enters the air as you describe the powers of the golden disc below and the possible contents of the sealed vaults beneath it. She nods. So that's what your servitor machines are doing down there. You've already chosen this as the site, haven't you? So she waits for your affirmation and says, all right, I'm convinced. The two of you sketch your plans for the sanctuary, drawing schematics and architectural diagrams. Then you descend into the valley to examine the open ground. The woman suggests having one of the servitors build a shelter for your time here. You try to draw one of the constructs away from its task, but it doesn't respond to your voice. When you lay a hand on its shoulder to reinforce your command, it whirls and strikes you across the face with inhuman speed. It turns back to its task, ignoring you. Your companion helps you rise, laughter in her eyes. It seems your construct has other ideas. What's the matter with it? So we have the choices. Use the Numenera. Oh man, I can't even pronounce these things. Integrated into your construct its body to overwhelm the behavior modification. Examine the construct for mechanical faults. Look for a deeper solution. Perhaps it's an effort of mystical middles nearby. So I like all three of those, to be honest. Those all sound pretty cool. I'm going to say examine. That might use intelligence a little bit more. Everything resolved into sharp focus, and you see the servitor's rear actuators are corrupted. You dig into the construct's back. It seems not to mind as long as you don't interfere with its task. Definitely, you reset the actuators and see the energy spark into disused portions of the construct's brain. The construct resumes its work, and this time it listens when you speak to it. Acknowledged. It obediently truddles to the site of your new shelter. What do we got there? Escape the fat. Okay. The image freezes, then fades, and you feel the memory filling the gap in your mind. Black by jagged blocks. You stagger, clench your head. The spectral voice didn't warn you that reclaiming your memories would hurt so much. And once more, there's something else. Hairs lift, one by one, on the back of your neck. Something beyond this room can sense what you're doing, and it's hunting you. Ooh, I don't like the sound of that, guys. That sounds pretty ominous. Oh, we got another little bridge over here, and it looks like another little orb as well. So let's come over here and check out the orb. I wish we could get rid of this light now, because it would be pretty cool if this whole room was dark. But we're gonna go ahead and get in there and see what this thing is all about right now, guys. Your fingers are twitching. Your mind races. Each blink sends branching streams of white fire across the inside of your eyelids. You can't deny it. You feel stronger and sharper, more whole than when you landed here. Captive lights swirl mockingly beneath the thick surface of the orb before you, obscuring shadow memories. Behind it, you will need to claim them somehow if you are able to free of this place and find your companion. So we got intellect and might. Coax the shadow to the front of the glass so you can see them, or crack the orb with your fist, which is might. Again, I'm going towards intellect. Maybe bad thing to go that much into intellect, but we're going to give it a shot and see how that works out. We're going to go with moderate. So, again, easy might be the best way to go, but moderate is the way I'm going to go on that one. So now I'm at 13, and we succeed. Your confidence grows, spreading quickly. You call a slender shadow to the surface of the glass. Into the light, it's a young woman bound in chains of sorrow. She speaks quietly of a memory. You lean in closer and closer until her whispered words fill your mind. A vision of the city spring up around you. Your city in flames and under attack. Her defenders have fought and died all day, and still the attacks keep coming. They fight as if your destruction was demanded of them. They care nothing for mercy, surrender, or plunder. What they want is blood. But you have brought a keen-eyed companion to the top of the tower. She has seen the way to stop the invaders. You need to get her to safety, and you need to rally your defenders. But even as you turn towards the door of the tower, two of the attackers descend from a hovering machine and don't have time to strike at them before they land. One is brutishly large. His weapon is vibrating axe. The other is slim, stealthed in glassed armor, and holding a hilt with a sizzling, invisible blade. Your companion backs away. She's too young to help. Your enemies advance single file, confined by the parapet. Trade blows with the giant. You can handle it for at least a strike or two, so that's probably strength. Duck under the giant's swing and attack before he strikes. That's definitely speed. And fight defensively and figure out who presents the greater threat. And that is, most definitely intelligence right there. So let's go with that one. The memory seems crystal clear. The giant is menacing, it's true, but the invisible blade of his companion is more worrisome still. The energy field that flickers and wavers around it suggests that she can carve matter at the molecular level, tearing pieces of her target into nothingness. If you're to save yourself, your best bet is to tackle her first. She's stuck behind the giant, waiting her turn to attack you, unable to bring her weapon to bear until he's out of the way. But it's clear that she expects him to handle you, and her eyes rove behind you, her focus on your ward. She's certainly not expecting you to dive between the giant's leg and come up inside her guard. She can't bring her blade to bear in time, and you drive your dagger up under her chin. You catch her before her deadly blade drops onto you and spin her around. The weapon slashes into the giant, and he topples, bisected. The immediate threat ended, you focus on finding a way back to your allies. You open the tower door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked, opening just a bit into the hall, and you hear more of the enemy soldiers beyond. Hurl yourself against the door and knock them to the ground. Crack the door open to sneak past them. Charge through them, counting on your defenses to protect you. Let's see. So crack the door, that would be the stealthy one, so that would probably be like speed. Charge through them sounds a lot like the strength one. So I guess hurl yourself at the door and knock them to the ground. That also sounds like strength to me. But I don't know. I don't know on that one, guys. I don't see any intelligence version on this one. So let's go with stealth until we do. You press yourself against the gleaming door, easing it open, and your breath catches in your throat as it squeaks quietly. The sound like a bell in your memory. You pause, but the soldiers in the hall continue to talk. You push again. Squeeze yourself through the narrow opening and creep down the bloodstained hall. The memory begins to fade, and you find yourself back in your own body. Your temples throb in a racing force of your heartbeat, and the reclaimed memories blaze within you like a bonfire on a mountain's peak, visible to every predator for a kilometer around. A tremor rocks the floor beneath you, as though a massive fist has struck the room itself. Swaying on your feet, you see a frantic movement within the borders of a mirror at the edge of the room. And that's the mirror we were looking at over there, which basically said we were the mirror image, while the other guy was actually standing on the other end, which might be the case here in a minute. Let's go ahead and look at the mirror real quick. The border of this mirror is lavishly decorated with this dizzying number of interlocking symbols, daggers, masks, paintbrushes, amulets, and more. But there's nothing compared to what you see in the glass. You see a vast crowd of people, exact doppelgangers of you, shoving, arguing with, and fighting each other. Most are drab imitations of you, but a precious few are vivid, and you pull at your attention. Each of them bears a incarnate penalog tattoo on their head. Well, I guess those are going to be the choices they were talking about. Shining like distant stars, your hand twitches at your side, and though some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you, or even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become, a rumble shakes the room, and slow vibrations spread across the darkness below, rippling towards the ceiling. So you get to have different choices here. Point at the doppelganger with the clever eyes, point at the learned doppelganger reclining on the throne of books, point at the doppelganger tinkering with mechanical devices, or the doppelganger with mystic symbols on its brow. Step away from the mirror. So if you don't like the choices that you made here, I guess you can just go ahead and pick one of the ones here, and it will change the choices you made to the route that you want to go. I'm going to step away from the mirror because I want to go with the choices we've made. I don't know if those are the best ones, but you got to learn somehow, and we're just going to go into it and see what the best ones are. Come on, what's going to happen? Can I move? Is that it? Oh, so I have to pick one. Is that what it's saying? Okay, I guess we have to pick one then, guys. Let's go back into it. We're going to go with... I'm going to go with the mystic symbols because I want to use power or some kind of magic or something in this one, so let's go with that. The doppelganger shoulders its way through the crowd, casually donning an 8-fingered glove. Then it digs its fingers into the glass between you. With a grunt, it tears a hole in the surface shaped like a pointed ear. Carefully, the doppelganger speaks an unfamiliar word into the ear, and the ground itself seems to turn. As if you are standing inside the door the doppelganger has just opened. When you look around, the hole has disappeared and nothing has changed. Or has it? The doppelganger plucks the 8-fingered glove from its hand and waits for your decision. Yes, that is who I am. I wanted to consider another choice, so we're gonna go yes. That's the who I am. Oh yeah, come on. Is it freaking out? Is it not moving? It's gonna do a video or something like that. Is that why it's loading up? And we'll give it a second here. It might have actually freaked out on us. No, there we go. So I gained Mystical, and I restore 3 might pools. Your decision rings into the cavernous room, awakening and unlocking vast mechanisms behind the wall. Suddenly, a grotesque noise rings through your shared worlds, like a bell, if bells could rot. This place, your mind, is under attack. The remaining doppelgangers scatter for the edges of the mirror and vanish. Untroubled, your chosen identity steps out of the rippling glass and into you, filling you, making you whole. The mirror fades, leaving a dark, open darkway. You take a deep breath and step through. Here we go. If an enemy is armored, change up... Oh, we've already read that one before. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. A lot of reading, definitely, and, you know, hopefully at some point this will all be voice acted, but if not, we'll just have to get used to reading this much on here. Again, this is how the first one was. There was a lot of reading on that one as well. There we go, guys. The pinprick of light you followed into the darkness passage suddenly opens wide. There is no sense of transition. You step. You were in the dark, the next you were here. You're in some kind of mystic laboratory. Machines gleam all around you, seemingly incomprehensible data swirling around you like motes of light. 5 large tanks stand out, each one containing a different shadow form, none of them human. A spectral figure stands in front of you. The Spectre. Everything about the Spectre seems dreamlike. He is a hazy silhouette of green glass smoke, wearing stylish, well-cut clothes. His jade eyes are fixed on you. His handsome, bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, though to the best of your recollection, holy crap, you've never seen him before. He claps you warmly on the shoulder. The Spectre. Skist, you made it. Listen, I know you got a dozen questions, but we're not through the worst yet. You must have heard the thing digging into your mind by now. Yeah? Well, it's on its way. I think we have a chance to survive using these machines. That's why we're here. But you have to attune yourself to the tides. It's a process that, well, it's hard to explain, but I'll walk you through it. Let's see. Who are you? Earlier, did you say we were in my mind? What's after us? Well, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and end the first episode here. We'll definitely pick the next episode up right here where we left off. I would like to be able to save it, but, you know, who knows how long this conversation will go on. And I don't want to make the first episode too long. In fact, we've already made it a little bit longer than I kind of like to do. About 30 minutes is what I'm going to keep the episodes at. Hopefully you guys liked the episode. Do apologize for the few words that I mispronounced. I could always go back and edit that stuff out, but I like to give you guys an actual playthrough, a blind playthrough of me coming in here and playing the game. And yeah, some of the names they use in these games, whether it's this game or any other game, are they try to make them unique. And unique usually means pretty hard to pronounce. So, you know, hopefully you guys will bear with me on that. Again, this game is still in early access. If there's any bugs or any problems that we run into, I hope you guys will consider that and keep that in mind when deciding whether you want to buy this game or not. I am greatly looking forward to getting further into this game and seeing what it offers up, because this is going to be a fantastic playthrough if it's anything like the first one. Again, it's $44.99 on Steam right now. Definitely keep an eye on it if that's a little bit too high for you. Price will fluctuate from time to time with sales and things of that sort. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So again, guys, thanks for watching. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely helps grow the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. More than that, if this is a game that you like and you just you're not playing it just yet, go online, give a review for it, help them out. You know, definitely leave feedback for them, because they are taking into account any bugs that you might find in the game at the moment, or any suggestions that you guys have. So if you see something that you wish would be one way or the other, let them know. They're listening, and they're definitely watching what you guys say on the forums and things of that sort. And until next time, guys.